Welcome to another Sensual review, and today we will be checking out Shatterline. And if you do enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe as it greatly supports us through the vicious YouTube algorithm. Make sure to also comment below on your thoughts on the game as well. Let's begin! Free-to-play arena FPS games are hard to find these days, especially those that are truly engaging and fun to play, with little to no issues as you play through them. Halo Infinite was a game that wanted to reignite that spark of that genre of games, but it ended up bombing to a fault, mainly because 343 Industries had no idea where to take the franchise's multiplayer. However, there's a new game in town, and this one has a message to send. Shatterline is one of the newer free-to-play arena FPS games. The game has a primary arena shooter mode, combined with a phenomenal roguelike cooperative mode called Expedition, in addition to various classic PvP game modes like Team Deathmatch, Conquest, Plant the Bomb, and Escort. The game is colorful, vibrant, and it's developed by an indie studio named Frag Labs. Working straight out of the war zone in Kyiv, Ukraine, the passion that these guys have for the game development is at display in Shatterline, and that's why I'm here to sing praise of this fantastic shooter. Although Shatterline seems to have been plucked out of the early 2010s, it isn't necessarily a bad thing. The hero shooter elements in this game are excellent, and they most closely resemble those in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but with a more innovative focus and superior execution. Given that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a AAA game from a multi-billion-dollar studio, and that this is the first game from an independent studio that was also self-published and developed in a war zone, this says a lot. There's a total of 8 different heroes that you can pick from in Shatterline, but almost every single one of them is perfectly balanced. These heroes are varied too, and each of them possess a different ability that makes the gameplay super fun. One of the heroes can throw out a decon drone that works automatically and pings the location of other players for you. Meanwhile, there's another hero that can throw an axe instead of a grenade, resulting in a one-hit kill that is very hard to land but very satisfying. Then you have one character that turns into a porcupine with his ultimate ability, and it's just very balanced and satisfied. When it comes to overall gameplay, the combat is the only focus here in Shatterline. Fortunately though, the combat is as satisfying as it gets. The main focus of the combat is that it's exactly like Call of Duty, or as close as you can get to it. In particular, the movement and the gunplay. The movement is fast and smooth, where you can jump across distances, slide under obstacles, and run at people with your shotgun. The combat is made even more fun thanks to the hero system, which makes everything more fun to play. It adds a depth to the gameplay, but of course, the pure mechanical shooting skills are the most important here. The abilities won't overpower you, they just simply are a means to an end in helping you get kills. Speaking of shooting skills, there's also a lot of weapon variety here, which makes the gunplay feel even better. Firstly, you have your typical one-handed weaponry, such as pistols and revolvers. Then you have your assault rifles, SMGs, sniper rifles, and even shotguns. There's a ton of different maps where you can fully utilize each of these weapon types and figure out what works best for you. The time to kill is also quite small, so the gunfights are tighter, and it makes it that much more intense, to be honest. There are a few guns that have a decent chunk of recoil that you need to master before you can go on a killing spree with them. Shatterline has a lot of content, and almost all of it is good. The one thing you have to keep in mind is that it's free to play, and it has literally no pay-to-win aspects to it. Keeping that in mind, there are a ton of PvE and PvP modes that you can have an absolute blast playing with your buddies in. Firstly, let's talk about the PvE. The PvE here is a cooperative roguelike experience called Expedition. No run will feel the same in Expedition, especially in terms of the equipment that you receive. This makes the PvE content completely distinctive compared to most. In addition to that, the robust progression system is phenomenally crafted. This enables you to level up each operative, make them stronger for the PvE mode, and then push for even more creativity as you combine different items that you will earn from each run of Expedition that you play. This gameplay loop is totally worth the time investment, as the more you unlock, the better your run will be. And you will unlock even higher level stuff. PvP is also pretty decent in this game, nothing unique or brand new, but it accomplishes what it's trying to do rather well. Of course, Shatterline's PvP is a typical military shooter with some extra features such as the hero abilities. Since the time to kill is slow, it's usually quick and full of one-shots with snipers, shotguns, and revolvers. This can be a little irritating for new players, even existing players to be honest, but you can get back into the action pretty quickly, so it doesn't really matter. The game feels extremely well balanced, but I have issues with the escort mode design. Yes, every hero shooter has a payload mode, but it's more of a Call of Duty-like game, so that payload mode feels random when you have such little health and the time to kill is that low. There's a decent variety of maps here too, though they're not too many in quantity. They are well designed and well balanced, the maps have lots of different avenues to attack, and you're not just constantly being picked off at spawn like in Call of Duty's multiplayer maps at times. Moreover, there's lots of stuff to unlock here, such as attachments, weapons, and weapon skins. Some of these can be helpful when you're creating a static loadout, while others can just be for cosmetic purposes and make you look super duper cool when you're clicking heads, baby. Now for the verdict. Shatterline is a spectacular game in my opinion, but it's also barely reached its infancy. There's a lot left to be desired from playing this game, especially since the developers are still working on it and actively developing the game and reaching its final form. I'm hoping that this game is going to be phenomenal once it comes out properly. There's more to learn and more to see in the world of Shatterline. There's more co-op gameplay coming, something that will expand upon the story of this game world, along with a ton more multiplayer maps, modes, and weekly events. I'm hoping that there will be even more cosmetic weapon and attachment options. I'll be here waiting for this game when it reaches its final form, and will be one of the first players jumping into it as soon as it comes out.